This episode is being videotaped in February of 2010. At the time of this videotaping, Satanic Views is no longer available on YouTube. At least the later episodes were not. This might change in the future, I don't know, but for the time being, I'm having a lot of technical difficulties with YouTube's new system, and I can't seem to upload onto it. The first 20 episodes are there, but it doesn't matter, because to me, YouTube is obsolete, because now, of course, there's MySpace videos, there's Yahoo videos, Dailymotion, there's plenty of other places where I can do webcasts, and so Satanic Views, even though maybe it won't be on YouTube anymore, goes on. But for now, let's have a look at some more viewer comments.
This one's from XFreno2. I can't understand how some poipy pray for Satan. It's crazy.
We've already gone over the topic of worshipping non-existent entities before, and I'm getting sick of repeating myself. I've come to realize that many of the poipies who write these ignorant, irrelevant comments are obviously not even watching the show. These ill-informed poipies are just reacting to the title of this series without giving it the time of day or understanding the program's content. These narrow-minded poipies like to spout off without knowing the facts. Anyway, this here 20-second Satanic Views will have part 2 of my demonic biographical interview, Growing Up Damonic. In the previous chapter, we cover the 1960s. This time, we continue where we left off with the 1970s. But first, we review another movie in the segment Tales from the Critic. Here we are reviewing the disturbing documentary Jesus Camp, directed by Heidi Ewing and Rachel Grady.
Speak the word of the Lord.
That dance is paramilitary training using eskrima sticks.
Excrement sticks?
Eskrima, no, it should be excrement, that's right.
Is there anyone in here that believes that God can do anything? God can
This
do
was a good
anything.
film.
We
I liked
can
it. I
say
liked
God
some of the diversity that it showed. A lot about Pentecostal Christians, very hardcore people. There's something I like about people that will take their beliefs to such an extreme that they completely cut themselves off from society. And if there's anything that I do respect about the people in this movie, it's that. And I think with their extremism, they've developed a pretty exotic kind of life. It's disturbing, of course, when I see these people going outside their own community and trying to take over the world, trying to get into politics, trying to legislate their religion. Obviously, it was unsettling to see some of the kids in the movie and see obvious signs of neurosis, obsessive compulsiveness. You could just see the fear in their eyes.
We got too many Christian grown-ups that are fat and lazy. They don't want
Well, at least she's not lazy.
They don't want to fast for a 3-day fast or a 40-day fast or whatever.
I don't like seeing anybody so opinionated and such fearmongers that they're going to control these kids and terrorize them. But these kids, I wonder if some of them are having a healthy emotional release. I'm trying to be open-minded here. Some of them at this camp seem to be enjoying themselves. You know, trying to be fair here. I don't think these people are fair. They are control freaks, and they want to take over, and this is my opinion of this 2006 documentary. As a film, it's not bad. The film is very educational, and yes, everyone should see it. It's scary that these kids are being terrorized for being human.
Let me say something about Harry Potter. Warlocks are enemies of God. And I don't care what kind of hero they are. They're an enemy of God. And had it been in the Old Testament, Harry Potter would have been put to death.
This documentary is overwhelming. I can talk about it for hours, all the various aspects of the film, but I'm going to focus on the disturbing political message they're indoctrinating kids with. Lots of anti-abortion, anti-separation of church and state, the need to bring God into government, the desire to make war, chanting, "This means war," and other things like that, praying to an effigy of President Bush, talking about how America is God's country. Ted Haggard at one point talks about the need to instill core values in America, and the main minister, I think her name's Becky or something, actually says giving everyone equal freedom will destroy us, and they seem to be forgetting that this country was founded by people leaving Europe to escape religious persecution, and that separation of church and state and religious freedom for all are our country's core beliefs.
So we don't have to debate about what we should think about homosexual activity. It's written in the Bible.
Yeah, that guy knows all about the homo thing, doesn't he?
I know what you did last night.
This is a generation that's going to stand for purity and righteousness and holiness, and you're going to serve the Lord all the days of your life. And we declare all those things over you.
We are rating Jesus Camp an 8 out of 10. If you're concerned about a growing minority of Jesus freaks who might take away your civil rights or use mind control to prove Harry Potter is a bigger problem than global warming, you really should see Jesus Camp.
From the looks of your earlier writings, it seems you've evolved in a tolerant, liberal manner.
Yes, my Bay Area elementary school was culturally diverse. There were Catholics, Buddhists, Jews, Protestants, and so on. Each of these opinionated groups seems to think it had the so-called truth. And early on, I denounced all religion as a bunch of mind control and propaganda.
So, I take it this did not make you popular among the Jesus freaks in your elementary school?
Nor did my growing love of monster movies like Frankenstein, Godzilla, Dracula, and so on. While other kids were talking about baseball and football, I was talking about Ultraman and Gamera. This alone made me an outcast.
Perhaps you got too obsessive with these movie monsters. I remember that you found it sick that these lovable, misunderstood creatures often got killed at the end of their own movies.
Yes, I hated the endings of The Creature from the Black Lagoon, King Kong, and The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
So that's why you gravitated towards the Japanese stuff, like Godzilla and Gamera?
Yeah, those monsters were actually treated with respect and given personalities in their movies. They were like role models to me.
So, what music inspired you in the 1970s?
I was intrigued by David Bowie, and I continued enjoying rock and roll because of bands like Kiss. And I was really intrigued by Kiss's demonic look. I loved the movie Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park when I was a kid, and I felt the band members looked a lot like the zombies and vampires I was watching at the matinee.
So, between the rock and roll, the atheism, and the horror movies, it wasn't a far stretch that you'd become a demonic in your own unique way. And then a fateful movie was released, The Omen.
Even before that stupid film came out, people always confused the names Damon and Damien. Kids took the O out of my name and called me Damn. I mean, the taunting in elementary school and junior high was elevated because of The Omen. When that came out, it got worse, and nicknames like Damien and Demon were common.
But you once said that you wore it like a badge of honor because it put you in a position where you were the total opposite of the brainwashing Bible thumpers who knocked on our doors.
Yeah, I hate when religious fanatics force their biased views on others. So if I really was an agent of the mythical creation they call Satan, it had to be a good thing.
So you were proud to be labeled a demonic force, but not proud of being a geeky outcast who got bullied and lived in a fantasy world of monsters, demons, dinosaurs, devils, aliens, mummies, ghosts, robots, and the occasional comic book?
Right, by the late 1970s, I was a dysfunctional hedonist who hid from reality and was constantly depressed.
Fortunately, the 1980s were right around the corner.
Nearly all people love cheese.
But human beings aren't the only mammals who enjoy cheese.
Mice, rats, and other rodents also like it.
But unfortunately, often mice end up trapped or killed when they go for a nibble.
So in honor of our rodent brothers, the common mouse trap will be utilized.
I really like cheese a lot. You don't know how scary this is until you see one of these things up close like this.
Oh, it's brutal. Oh.